evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Danbury Hat-Tricks Hockey on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Casey Bryant alongside Jack O'Mara bringing you exclusive live coverage of the Danbury Hat-Tricks tonight and every night here from Danbury Arena. As tonight, the Danbury Hat-Tricks take on the Battle Creek Rumblebees. As the Danbury Hat-Tricks are looking to snap an uncharacteristically long 3-game losing skid. And Jack, last weekend at home against the Elmira Enforcers, the Enforcers did something that really the Hat-Tricks, no team has really been able to do to the Hat-Tricks, which is run them out of their own building.
Yeah, they forced them into trouble, and the Danbury Hat-Tricks could not score in either one of those games, 2 goals in each game. They just looked lost offensively and defensively. They had moments where they looked good. They had moments with solid goaltending behind Dylan Kelly, but then defensively you saw a couple of lackluster moments, and that was just enough. And that top line of Mafuz, Michaelis, they were unstoppable. Really, really tough weekend for Danbury. They're looking to bounce back here tonight.
The Danbury Hat-Tricks have dropped 3 in a row, and it was the first time that they had lost on home ice since November the 16th of 2019 against those same Elmira Enforcers. So now they turn their attention to a team that is, well, if you are what you said your record says you are, the Battle Creek Rumblebees are in a bit of an unfortunate spot coming into this game at 1-30-0-0, but you cannot and you should not take this team lightly because they've been playing more competitively, and you do not have the luxury when you're on a 3-game losing skid of taking a team for granted.
And Battle Creek's one win came against the team that just swept you last weekend. Nothing is taken for granted in any stage. You have to play this game as if you were playing a playoff game. You do not need to take any pressure off the gas. You want to make sure that you're playing 100% for the full 60 minutes of this game. That's very important. You should not take the game lightly.
Especially since the Battle Creek Rumblebees will be featuring a couple of guys who are making a return to Danbury. 4 former Danbury Hat-Tricks on the roster for the Battle Creek Rumblebees, including a couple of starters tonight. On the forward lines, you'll have number 88, Adam Howie, and number 91, Stavros Soilis. And on defense, number 6, Sebastian Crystal. So you have some familiar faces up and down that Battle Creek bench that will want to make an impact against their former squad.
And you've seen that Adam Howie's one of the best players for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. He played pretty well the last time that Battle Creek came up here in the late stages of November back in 2019. I think you're 100% right, Casey. This is a great opportunity for these former Danbury Hat-Tricks to come out in yellow and black and show off their skills tonight and say, hey, remember me? I think it's a crucial, crucial game for Battle Creek, and they should probably feel pretty good coming into this matchup. Danbury's on the losing skid. Maybe they take away some life out of the building, take some opportunities, and run with it, because we saw as soon as Danbury was unable to come back, as soon as Elmira took him out of the game, that was it. It was over.
The starting line is being announced right now for Danbury Arena. One of the players that was leading the team out of the tunnel is number 15, Billy McCreary, the head coach of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, suiting up on defense tonight in lieu of a couple of different missing faces in the lineup. Steve Mealy out with an illness. Martin Tuma serving the final game of his 3-game suspension. Thomas Freeman, lower body injury. Aaron Atwell, upper body injury. A lot of missing faces on that blue line, and Billy McCreary will likely be leaned on pretty heavily today.
Yeah, he's going to play some top 4 defenseman minutes because of all the situations, the suspensions, the injuries that have kind of plagued Danbury at this stage in the season. It's going to be very interesting to see how Billy McCreary plays. His first appearance on the ice here in Danbury this season. Of course, he had 2 games just a month ago, but this is going to be a crucial, crucial game because there are some key pieces missing for Danbury. And again, it's a game you can't take for granted.
Emerging from the tunnel and standing in that blue paint right now is number 29, Dylan Kelly, who faced a ton of shots last weekend and will be looking to redeem himself this weekend. We're going to turn you over now to public address announcer Christian Gardecki as we get set for the announcement of the starting lineups and the national anthem.
Danbury lost a valuable member of our community. Immaculate High School student Liam Devine tragically lost his life in an accident on I-84. He was an avid sportsman that had a passion for sports journalism. We ask you to please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now, for the singing of our national anthem. Singing tonight is Susan Lang.
Susan Lang with the rendition of the national anthem with some assistance from the Danbury Hat-Tricks faithful here in attendance for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Starting lineups first for the visiting Battle Creek Rumblebees. Starting on defense, they will have number 6, Sebastian Crystal. Alongside him, they will have number 87, Michael Thomas. On the forward lines, they'll have a couple of former Hat-Tricks in Adam Howie, number 88, and number 91, Stavros Soilis. Joining them will be Marco Luciani. And in goal for the Rumblebees, number 1, Morgan Hudson, who comes into this game 0-2 with a 577 goals against average and 859 save percentage. Starting lineup for your Danbury Hat-Tricks on defense, they will have number 4, Cruz Listmeyer, alongside number 81, Vladislav Gavrik, seeing another game on the blue line tonight, and all those absences forces him from the wing back to defense, where he has seen mixed results, but he's improving by the day and hoping to have a steady game here tonight against the Rumblebees. On the forward lines, they will have Casper Dearson and Corey Anderson on the wing, with Kendall Bolin Porter at center. And in goal for the Hat-Tricks will be Dylan Kelly, 6-3-0 so far this season with a .903 save percentage and 361 goals against average. That's your Ameriprise Financial goaltending matchup of the game.
You have to look at Dylan Kelly, I think, Casey, and say, let's put the last weekend behind us, because he didn't play that all too bad after that rough start in that first period on Friday against Elmira. Gave up those 4 goals very, very quickly in that one, but then turned it around. It seemed like he settled in really nicely. This will be a good couple of games to really get his bearings back here in the FPHL and start to look like the old Dylan Kelly. We have to watch out for improvements for him.
And surely what the Hat-Tricks will want to do is improve on the quality of shots that make its way to Dylan Kelly, as Dylan Kelly saw a plethora of shots from the slot. As here's a pass into the near side corner. The Hat-Tricks skating left to right on your YouTube screen, donning their home blacks with orange and white trim as Bolin Porter takes a check from behind the end line from Adam Howie. Puck squirts out to the point where Cruz Listmeyer wires a laser beam into the near side corner. It wraps off the glass and out into the neutral zone. Howie will corral for the Rumblebees and look up ice. Hits Soilis on the right wing. Soilis enters in on Listmeyer. He's checked from behind. Listmeyer finishes the job and pile drives him into the boards. Jostling forward in the far side corner. Puck pops out, and Matty Casey gets a stick on it. Now it's down low. Here's Wolf trying to stuff it in on the far side post, and Dylan Kelly is there. And there will be a whistle, as they'll say that Dylan Kelly held it for long enough, as Dylan Kelly has to remove some padding and adjust his mask.
Yeah, a little scramble there on the far side post, but this all starts on the stretch pass. Soilis hanging out on the blue line, and that's really what burned Danbury all last weekend, is guys just looking for that extra step on the 2-line stretch pass, entering the zone without defensive pressure, and eventually it gets to the net. Good chance for Battle Creek.
Long shot from Bush Anderson at the near side point is seen easily by Dylan Kelly, and he'll hold. Ethan Bush Anderson, the 6'4 defenseman who chews up a lot of minutes for these Rumblebees, out there paired with Vinny Suzy, who had himself a goal in the Battle Creek Rumblebees trip to the Danbury Hat-Tricks back on November the 22nd. It cut the game to 3-2 at the time in the third period, where the Rumblebees looked like they might be able to make some noise, and for Danbury had Gordy Bonnell answer back quickly and sealed a 4-2 win. Steve Brown at the blue line hits Kasich at the left wing, who enters in, and Kasich will dump it in deep. Nikola Levesque will give chase. He gets past Bush Anderson as Ruiz behind the net sends it towards the blue line. Steve Brown was out of reach a bit, and it goes out into the neutral zone. Hudson will stymie the puck. Bush Anderson is taken away, and a short angle try by Levesque goes off the side of the net. Kasich with a sneaky takeaway.
Yeah, Kasich's on this top line with Ruiz and Levesque. You've seen that switched up a couple times. Just no angle there for Levesque.
Here's Shinkaruk moving in. Shinkaruk dances in and scores! Carter Shinkaruk with a beauty. It's 1-0.
And that's the start Danbury needs. A goal within the first 2 minutes, Casey. They were unable to do that last weekend. This is Carter Shinkaruk just working hard. He's able to just stymie this attempt out of the zone, takes it himself. Battle Creek is halfway in between a change, halfway ready to get out of the zone, and he just shows off his quick hands and finishes and beats the netminder. Nice goal there for Shinkaruk, and a good way to start the weekend.
So Carter Shinkaruk with a beauty of a move, dancing in, and what slick mitts he's got there in close. Morgan Hudson threw a poke check and had no chance. Carter Shinkaruk leisurely puts that in.
Yeah, once you get out as a goaltender, you lean with your poke check. It's usually all or nothing when you do that, because if a guy pulls it back, and he showed those quick handles, he pulls it back like that, easy tap in goal. And if you're Morgan Hudson, obviously you just look at that and you say, hey, I tried my best in that situation. When I'm one-on-one like that, a guy's charging at me, that's the best I could do.
So for Carter Shinkarik, that is his 10th goal of the season. He becomes the 7th Danbury hat trick to reach double-digit goals on the year, and that speaks to the scoring depth that the Danbury hat tricks have been able to find. And when you've got yourselves a shorter lineup, depth is you want the players that are healthy and dressed to contribute, and Carter Shinkarik has been doing just that of late.
Absolutely. He's all over the place. He's a balanced scorer, too. He's going to contribute on the assist side of things, and that's really one of the reasons Danbury's such a successful team, second overall in the FPHL standings. But you don't see a ton of guys on the top of the list in terms of scoring because it's so balanced. You look at this lineup,
true.
You have 4 guys over 30 points this season, and the rest of them like this.
Here's Shinkarik in deep again, and a stuff-in try is stopped by Morgan Hudson.
Just their energy, just like that, driving to the net, getting in good places. Good start for Shinkarik.
Absolutely. Shinkarik weaving his way in like a knife through butter. And now here's Bronner with some open space. He leaves it for Shane Morrissey, who enters in on the far side. Morrissey with a sharp angle try that goes over the glove hand of Hudson. And it will rattle out into the neutral zone. Steve Brown will settle it down, crosses the way to Kenny Garrett. Garrett will dump it in deep to the near side corner. Fielding is Michael Thomas. Gets it across to his defensive partner in Susie, and it's taken away by Howie. Aggressively on the forecheck is Kendall Bolin Porter. 2 minutes, 45 seconds gone by here in the first period. 1-0 is your score in favor of the Danbury hat tricks. Brown up to Bolin Porter, one-touch pass. Casper Dearson enters in, feeds Bolin Porter, has it on his backhand, looking towards the net. It's knocked off his stick. Good play by Thomas. Battle Creek trying to escape from their own end, and Kenny Garrett with a nice play to kick it down. A little soccer action for Kenny Garrett using the side of his boot. Now up is Stavros Soilis, enters in on the left side, trying to get around McCreary, feeds it out to the slot, and it's taken away by Bolin Porter.
That's a really good shift by Thomas there for Battle Creek. His first clearing attempt blocked, but his second try, he got it out and got it to Soilis.
A slap shot by Casper Dearson is swallowed up by Hudson. It was juggled for a moment, so Corey Anderson was there to make sure that any loose puck found its way onto his stick, and Battle Creek clears the crease.
Always a danger, Corey Anderson, all facets of the game, scoring and fighting. He loves to do it, and you see he's having a little words there with Stavros Soilis down low, former teammates.
Just giving a little how do you do. I mean, that is the thing with the Battle Creek Rumblebees, is that you want to make sure you still have some fight left in you. I mean, you are 130-0-0. There's no hiding or sugarcoating your record, but at the very least, you want to feel like you're still protecting yourself, that you're still respected among the league, and you see a lot of strong individual efforts up and down the Battle Creek lineup. I mean, that's why they were able to win that one game. They had a 2-1 victory over Elmira, hard-earned, and they've had a couple of close calls since then. They leapt out to a 2-0 lead against Port Huron a couple weeks ago, and they took a 1-1 game into the third period against Mentor on this past Monday. Now, this is not a team that's completely inept.
Yeah, they're a tough out. I mean, they're going to fight all the way through, and that's part of the frustrating thing for Battle Creek is they're right on the doorstep, and they just can't seem to get that extra goal to get them through.
3-on-2 developing as here's Levesque on the right wing. Waits, tries to find Kasich in the slot, and it's taken away by the Battle Creek defense. Picking it up and carrying it over to the right side is Maxim Noskov. Noskov gets it back to his defender, now over to Jason Stone. Stone up the right wing. Errant pass goes past the reach of Billy McCreary. Vladislav Gavrik will field the puck, and up comes Shinkarik, met at the blue line. Taken away now by Mark Steele. Steele dumps it in deep from a sharp angle, goes off the side of the net. Loose puck still out in front. Dylan Kelly unable to cover it up, and it will be knocked away by the paddle of his stick.
Yeah, a little miscommunication right in the blue area.
Here's Brett Menton, another former hat trick, wiring one wide, and Menton is brought down to the ice by the coach and GM who traded him away, and Billy McCreary. That's got to be at least a little strange.
Yeah.
A couple former hat tricks playing against the man who was in charge of their fate not a couple months ago. Brett Menton was only traded at the beginning of the year. This calendar year, I should say.
Yes, yeah. He's and he played a good amount for Danbury as well and provided some valuable minutes down there on the grinded third line.
Yeah, he was a flex guy too. They could play him on defense, play him at forward. He was a valuable asset.
And he was a fantastic participant in the Never Give Up Assembly.
That's true. Always down to help the kids. That is the one thing about Brett Menton and all of the guys that have come through the Danbury program is that they've all been quality individuals, and you want to give them as best a chance as possible to succeed. and give them as much ice time as possible.
Yes.
And you can see them all. Here's Sebastian Crystal, a former hat trick, getting it up the ice. You want to give them a role where they can flourish and let fate take care of the rest. Here's Johnny Ruiz carrying it up the right wing. Trying to get past Noskov. He gets it up to Anderson. Anderson stops short in front of Noskov. Has Dearson behind him. Switches places with him. Dearson now behind the end line with Anderson in front. Has Garrett at the point. Dearson elects to turn around and shoot. It goes off the shoulder of Hudson and over to the far side midboards, where it will be banked off the boards. And Garrett will make sure it's stopped at the red line. Dearson dumps it in deep. Hudson behind his net to play the puck. Kasich throws a hard check as Ruiz in front of the net if they can find him, but Bush Anderson picks up the slack.
And Casey, I think the biggest thing right now for Battle Creek is keeping the puck out of their own zone, getting those clearances just like this one. Very important to their game.
Steele enters in, but Stavros Soilis was just a step, Ryan Alvis was just a step too quick. And that'll be a stoppage of play for an icing. 6 minutes, 25 seconds gone by in the first period.
Yeah, just a half step too quick for Alves. And that's a good opportunity, too, because he's in behind his defender. If you were able to make that play onside, get that pass in there, it's going to be a very good high percentage opportunity in the slot area.
And Alves senses that he needs to be the key generator of offense as he leads the Battle Creek Rumblebees in every offensive category. 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points on the year in 30 games. Behind the end line, fighting for it is Morrissey, but it will pop out of play.
It should stay in the zone here, Casey, because it goes out of play in the zone, and it will. Well, you see what Shinkarik's been able to do now. He's back on the ice, and what is he doing? He's standing right in front of the goaltender, Morgan Hudson. He's just hanging there. He's just being a pest almost, and that's important. I think he's had a really good start to this game.
Out to Morrissey for a quick shot. That's blocked in front. And Carey is coming up a bit lame as now Morrissey gets it out to the slot. Bouncing puck out in front. They score! Finished off by Carter Shinkarik. It's 2-0.
Right on cue, Carter Shinkarik waiting alongside that backside, and he has the presence there. It's Carey who takes that shot block right off the bat, so it automatically becomes a 5-on-4 just because he can't really do much. And it's Shinkarik just waiting in on the rebound. Good presence there by the forward group for the hat-tricks. Bronner trying to stuff it in. The rebound kicks out, and Shinkarik, who I just mentioned was sitting in front of the net, moves to the side a little bit, finds the rebound, buries it for a second of the game, second of the period.
And what great net front pressure from the entire Danbury Hat-Tricks unit. That was Phil Bronner that had a second chance in front of Morgan Hudson. That was stopped by the leg pad, and Shinkarik, just too many numbers in front of Hudson for him to take care of every single chance. That was a terrific shift. And now here's Dearson entering back in. Dearson trying to feed it to Anderson in between the hash marks. It bounces around his skates and goes into the far side corner. And you can sense a little bit more confidence in this unit, can't you? Especially compared to last weekend when Elmira was taking it to them physically. This is a unit that wants revenge after last weekend.
Absolutely. You can see it in their eyes. They're just skating with a purpose, I want to say, in this game so far, especially this second line here, or you give them the number one line because they are the starter. But Dearson, Bolin, Porter, Anderson really like the combination there, and you can just see their forecheck is stronger. They're moving the puck well. Really good start to this game for that line as well.
Well, inherent chemistry to be found between the two wingers, as Casper Dearson and Corey Anderson were both Manhattanville Valiant's teammates in college last season. Jostling forward in the corner and coming away with it are the Rumblebees. Turnaround shot goes off the blocker of Kelly and into the near side corner. That was off the stick of Jacob Wolf. Nick Levesque picks up the puck at his own blue line in front of the bench. He's stripped from behind by Noskov. Enters in with Wolf to his left. And Ruiz with a good stick lift. A second chance opportunity now from Noskov. Goes off the side of the net and into the corner. Exit pass finds its way to Levesque, who one-hands it over to Ruiz. A nifty shuffleboard pass. Ruiz cuts across the slot. Now over to the left side intended for Kasich. Intercepted. And back the other way in transition come the Rumblebees.
Well, that was a good shift for Ruiz. His last pass wasn't as good, but his defensive effort, the stick lift and then the clearance, all very good.
Levesque entering back in once more with two Bs surrounding him. He spins away from Steele. Has Shinkarik in the high slot. Shinkarik dances around a couple of defenders, goes into the corner, has to evade the linesman. Now gets out towards the Colonials logo in the high slot, chips it down low for Gavrik, who is streaking in, and he forces it wide. Shinkarik at the near side midboards calling for it, receives. Cycles it down low, intended for Nicola Levesque, who will go off for a change after an extended shift. 9 minutes gone by in the first. 2-0 your score in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Streaking his carry, he's calling for it, but they'll elect to dump it deep. He's in behind Gavrick. Dylan Kelly will come out of the crease to play it over to Cruz Listmayer.
And it's good to see Carey back on the ice. Took that hard blocked shot earlier. Doesn't miss a shift.
That's a hockey player for you. They'll wear it. Gavrick up the right wing to Carter Shinkarik. Shane Morrissey juggles the puck for a bit, now crosses the blue line and enters in. He's got it in the slot, trying to nutmeg the defender. He was trying to get around Bush Anderson, but he is a big body to try to get around. Pinching in is Steve Brown. He's got Kenny Garrett and Bolin Porter back at the blue line. Scrum along the wall, and it squirts out now behind the Battle Creek net. Pitch and catch, Bush Anderson will cross the way over to Stavros Soilis, who settles things down, has a bit of time and space, and will glide behind his cage to try and set things up for Battle Creek.
Again, precious time being held in the Battle Creek zone here. Howie can't get out. Soilis, he's being roughed around right now, trying to get out of the zone. Danbury doing a good job with their forecheck to keep Battle Creek down low.
Bolin Porter is one of the most active members of that forecheck as the puck pops up into the crowd, and we've reached the media timeout. So we'll get a stoppage of play here with 9:44 to go in the first period. And you are right, Jack. You just see a lot more of a buzz, no pun intended, from the Battle Creek, from the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Bolin Porter chief among them, because Bolin Porter was playing in his first weekend back since being recalled from the SPHL, and it looked like there just wasn't a sense of cohesion. After another full week of practice, it seems like he's gelling on that top line.
Absolutely, and that happens. You know, you step away from a team. He was away for the Hat-Tricks a little bit longer, say the Johnny Ruiz, Corey Anderson, who had brief promotions. So it takes a couple of, games, practices to get connected with your line mates once again. But I think Coach McCreary has found something with this line here, because once again, they're back on the ice. I mean, that is rotating pretty much every other shift. This Bolin Porter and then the Manhattanville wingers, it's really working for them right now. And Bolin Porter, he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he can go from one end of the ice to the other with effectiveness. And that's the biggest thing. I think that's why he's playing so many minutes and why he spent so much time up in the SPHL.
He's a great two-way player, and again, he's a good character player as well. You can see why he would want to stick around. Here's Anderson behind the end line, looking to set it up in front for Bolin Porter. It instead finds its way to Steve Brown, who will loop it around the kick plate, get it back to Anderson. Dearson setting up between the hash marks if they can find him. A lot of open space in front of that Battle Creek net, as here's Anderson evading a couple of stick checks. Now it'll be knocked off the stick. Steve Brown with a long slap shot that goes into the padding of Hudson, and he holds.
And that's a great job by Hudson, too, because I believe Dearson just gets enough on this to redirect it just a little bit. And even with that little misdirection, the goaltender might have trouble judging that little deflection in front, but he does a good job to hang in there and then hold on to the rebound. Haven't seen a lot of shots from Danbury so far, just 8 so far, but those are the types of shots that I think we need to see more of. The Steve Brown, Vlad Gavrick shots from the blue line try to generate some chances in front.
Well, sometimes it's not even about the quantity of shots, it's about time on attack, which has been completely lopsided in this game so far. Here's Matthias Kasich now skating out between the hash marks. Wrist shot turned out by Hudson, and he swipes at it with the paddle of his stick to get it into the near side circle. Steele trying to carry it out. He collides with Gavrick. Gavrick is forced out to the blue line. The Hat-Tricks will hit the reset button and enter back in. Quick pass. Teeing up a slapper is Ruiz. He goes wide. Levesque banks it off the boards. Kasich throws a hard check and loses his footing for his trouble. Didn't come up with a whole lot of anything other than wall. Here's Ruiz, who takes a hard check from Steele. Carey pops it up into the air, and trying to settle it down is Jason Stone as he hits a man in stride, trying to get around a man. That was Menton. Was racing at Menton, donning a new number with the Rumblebees, running the number 21. He was 17 with the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Kasich, looking down low for Levesque, is intercepted by Adam Howie. Howie has it stripped from behind by Shinkarik. He's in all alone as the Hat-Tricks get a forward line change. Morrissey and Bronner will join that unit as the puck goes up off a defensive stick into the netting, and we'll get a stoppage of play. 7:56 gone by in the first.
And you're seeing Battle Creek, they're doing a good job of getting on the back check, making sure that they're establishing defensive positioning, especially on the first opportunity for Danbury's entry. But it's in the second opportunities. They can't get the puck out of the zone. Danbury's jumping on the puck quickly, and they're getting those second, third chances to get a shot on goal. That's where the difference is right now in this game.
Bouncing puck out in front here. Shinkarik shoots it just wide. Shinkarik had a prime scoring opportunity. Long shot by Steve Brown gets redirected off the end boards. kept alive by Shane Morrissey. It will be picked up now by Battle Creek and sent across the way. Here's Soilus crossing the red line with his back to the offensive zone. Enters in, looking for Luciano. Instead finds Bush Anderson, who's trying to get it in deep. Bronner throws a hard check to knock him off the puck. And boy, that's the kind of Phil Bronner, like a wrecking ball, wound up and charged him into the boards there. That's a hard check by a big man.
Yeah, you do not want to be on the receiving end of a Phil Bronner check, especially when he's a little bit angry, and he always plays the game a little bit angry, of course.
You have to. That's what's the line from the first Avengers movie? That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
I'm always angry.
Here's Dearson entering in, squaring to the net. Blocker to side by Hudson. Bolin Porter still jostling for it. Alvis has his stick tied up. Now Dearson will provide support. Out to McCreary. Long shot. He scores! Billy McCreary with a long shot from the blue line.
And we'll see if this goal's going to go to McCreary, Casey. I'm not sure if Anderson, who was in front, he might have gotten the deflection there. The puck definitely moves on its way in, but nonetheless, Billy McCreary is going to pick up his first point in a Hat-Tricks uniform. Really, really good stuff. And again, top to bottom, from the blue line towards goal, good things going to happen. It's the coach himself who does it, fires one in, and gets the deflection he needs. Whether it's his goal or his assist, it's an important one for the Hat-Tricks, and they've opened it up.
Well, it's almost like Corey Anderson didn't want to take credit for it standing in front of the net. Anderson and McCreary both pointed to each other. They will give the credit to the goal to Corey Anderson, so the primary assist will be Billy McCreary's, and you are right, Jack, his first point as a Danbury hat-trick, and it comes in front of the hometown fans. As now a pass over to Anderson on the left wing. He's forced back and sends the puck in deep. And I'm sure that Billy McCreary wanted to put up a showing. He wants to show that it's not just for show that the head coach is out there on the ice. He can actively contribute when he's in the lineup. And
they need him on the ice. I mean, the lack of defensemen right now due to the injuries is unfortunate for Danbury. He needs to be out there and playing for them, and he can still play. Obviously, he's not going to be the quickest guy on the ice at 37 years old, but he's going to come out and he's going to play a smart, disciplined game, and he does the right thing there to get the puck to the net, and will get rewarded for it.
Noskov entering in with Carey streaking to the net. Bouncing puck goes wide. Kelly aggressively out, and Kelly throws his weight around, and he throws a check on Carey. And Carey looking around wondering to the officiating crew, is he allowed to do that? Well, they'll protect the netminder. Steve Brown behind the end line, getting it up the left wing. Kasich skies it up into the air, and it will be settled down by Bush Anderson as it trickles over towards the Battle Creek Rumblebees bench over by backup netminder Michael Marchinek. 5:05 remains in the first period, and the Danbury Hat-Tricks have leapt out to a commanding 3-0 lead here in the opening frame as Bush Anderson has it hop off his legs, and he will send it out into the neutral zone where McCreary will settle it down, and McCreary, as he touches the puck, gets a roar of approval from the Danbury Hat-Tricks faithful in recognition of his efforts. Here's Shane Morrissey. Morrissey looking to the net, feeding the backdoor pass, looking for Shinkarik, and hop just over his stick.
Yeah, what an effort there for Morrissey. He had a good weekend, couple goals in 2 games played, and this time he's on the receiving end or the passing end there, trying to connect with Shinkarik's third.
Well, Shinkarik and Morrissey were Evansville Thunderbolt teammates last year in the SPHL. They find themselves reunited on a line here in Danbury. Here's Brett Menton trying to spin away from Morrissey and Shinkarik. Look how deep the two forecheckers are for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. They're trying to force as many turnovers as possible. As there's Dearson throwing a hard check, knocking the puck loose, and they're just trying to make sure that the Rumblebees don't have any time to make any decisions.
Well, we saw that last weekend with Elmira, and Elmira is the team that was on the forechecking end and on the dominant end. They just did not let any room.
Morrissey to Dearson, looking for one extra pass, and it goes past the stick of Morrissey.
Yeah, good idea. Got to pull the trigger when you're that close.
A bit too unselfish on the part of Casper Dearson. Here's Gavrik maneuvering his way in with a backhander. Now here's Jacob Wolf trying to get around Garrett. He does, has Anderson to beat. Wolf sending it out towards the slot. It's behind Noskov and will go to the far side midboards. Wolf is there in front of the net. It hops off his skates. Bolin Porter now to Dearson, and the Hat-Tricks are able to exit. A good shift there from Wolf trying to make things out. He's putting himself in the right position.
Make sure to head out to the rabbit hole to
Because the Bumblebees just haven't been able to establish their tape-to-tape passing yet.
Yeah, it's been the individual efforts. You look at different shifts and you say, oh, that was a great shift by Wolf. That was a great shift by Soilus. You're looking at those and you're saying, that's a great job, but it's the players around them that need to make themselves a little bit more available. And you're right, Casey, the passing from Battle Creek, from blue line to blue line, needs to get a little bit sharper, needs to get a little bit better. Maybe establish a little bit dump and change. If the passes aren't working, try old school. Try using your body and getting possession that way.
You would love to see what the completion percentage is for passing. It's a high-tech stat, and perhaps SAP hasn't gotten there yet, but you would love to see just a comparison of how crisp the passing has been between these two teams, because it seems like Danbury is able to find whatever their intended target is, and right now Battle Creek struggling to get a five-man cohesive unit going, taken away by Ruiz. Saucer pass finds its way into the midsection of Levesque. Back pass now to Kenny Garrett. Garrett looking to the slot area is taken away. Good job there by John Champlain to plant himself in the slot. Went puck hawking. Brown crossing the way to Kenny Garrett. Garrett, one-touch pass through the legs of Johnny Ruiz, trying to get a little fancy, and now here's Luciani as he enters in. No Rumblebees providing Luciani any support, and he's able to almost strip the puck away from Garrett, but Garrett is able to clear.
Now there you go. Luciani gets the check mark on this shift. Gets the puck in deep, goes to get it, wins a puck battle, but there's nobody on the helping end to try to get some offensive attack. Here we go.
Soilus looking towards the net, goes off the shoulder of Dylan Kelly, and he'll hold, and the Rumblebees will get an offensive zone draw, and there you go. That's what you want to see. You have a back pass option in Howie. Soilus looks to the net, gets a good wrist shot off.
And those are the simple things. Those are the simple plays that you need to do to make yourself, get yourself back into a game like this. And it's really, really good shift there for Battle Creek. And it all starts there. And Soilus, again, he's the guy who's really getting the puck in deep, getting some good chances at net. Obviously, you would like a little bit better angle, but this is important for Battle Creek.
Shinkarik picks it up, and he's off to the races. He's got room in front of him. Trying to get around a defender, is forced off the puck by Steele, picks it back up behind the end line as Gavrik at the point finds him. Gavrik turns around and will loop it around roulette style over to Bronner at the far side midboards. Shovels it in deep. Trying to shield the puck away is Alvis. To Stone, who will send it up the left wing, and the Rumblebees looking for some sort of respite from the Danbury Hat-Tricks forecheck. Here's Bronner looking across the way. Morrissey with a look to the net. Couldn't field the puck cleanly. Pass was just behind him. Bouncing puck will roll its way onto Morrissey's stick. Cycles it with Bronner. Hat-Tricks buzzing, keeping their feet moving. 1:20 to go in the first period. Here's Bronner taking the puck away after winning a board battle along the wall. Bronner now has it checked from behind by Wolf, and Wolf will lift it up and out.
You found the opportunity to use the word buzz twice now, Casey.
I can't help myself. It's right down to the honeycomb design on their jerseys. They really lean into that aesthetic, and I can't help it. McCreary entering in confidently. His wrist shot goes off the side of the net. It pops the water bottle for a moment, but it remains on the top of the cage. McCreary will turn around once more and send it in deep. He'll take a tumble down to the ice and go off for a change. Steve Brown will replace.
Well, how about a confident skater? Billy McCreary skating all the way around the offensive zone with a purpose. Doesn't look like a 37-year-old out there tonight.
Well, I'm sure, especially as a head coach of a team, you don't want to seem like you're too selfish or taking too many chances. You don't want to be the one that makes the silly mistake in a game.
Right.
But now that he's got his first assist, maybe he's going to start taking a few more offensive chances.
Yeah, open up your game a little bit.
Why not? In the waning seconds of the period, Steve Brown will look up the ice. He sends a pass that goes past the sticks of both Anderson and Dearson, so Battle Creek will have an opportunity for one last rush if they can hurry. Entering in is Adam Howie with a look to the net, has Brown to beat. Back pass, Luciani's shot goes off the end boards and wide, and that will do it for the first period. So one last quality scoring chance for the Rumblebees, but it can't find its way to the padding of Dylan Kelly. And that's the story of the first period. The Danbury Hat-Tricks have leapt out to a 3-0 lead, and they find themselves comfortably taking it to the Battle Creek Rumblebees.
Yeah, right off the rip for Danbury, Carter Shinkarik was the man who started it all. The emphasis on heavy forechecking, aggressive forechecking was of emphasis in that first period. Shinkarik started it, and you saw it continue for the full 20 minutes. That was what was important for Danbury. And obviously when you've lost 3 in a row, kind of uncharacteristic, you're not really in that territory too much. It's something that Danbury needed to take care of. They do the right thing. They get out to an early lead, and they jump on it. Good to see McCreary gets his first point, and then defensively they're taking care of shooting opportunities. Battle Creek has a plethora of shots that go wide, don't even get to the goaltender, Dylan Kelly, and it's a couple of easy saves for him.
So that'll do it here for the first period. We'll be back in a moment when the ice is cut. You're watching Danbury Hat-Tricks Hockey on the Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Casey Bryant alongside Jack O'Mara. Don't go anywhere. You following along with Danbury Hat-Tricks Hockey on the Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. We join now with the Hat-Tricks protecting a 4-0 lead with 7 minutes 45 seconds gone by in the second period. Hat-Tricks currently holding in their defensive zone, the defensive zone being on the right side of your YouTube screen as the Hat-Tricks skate from right to left. Cruz Listmeyer sends it up the left side wall, finds Shane Morrissey on the left wing, and he enters into the attacking zone. Morrissey with a drop pass that's intercepted by Stavros Soilis. Turnaround shot by Casper Dearson on the near side circle, gets turned out by Morgan Hudson, and it goes into the far side circle and lifted out into the neutral zone. Battle Creek trying to defend their net a bit better than they did in the first period. They left a lot of open space in front and trying to adjust as Bolin Porter crosses the red line for the Hat-Tricks, is met at the defensive blue line by Battle Creek. Thomas looking to escape, has his pass intercepted and chipped in deep by Corey Anderson. In the near side corner, crossing from corner to corner. Now out to the circle, feeds Garrett for the one-time shot that gets blocked in front by Thomas. And Thomas sets out to the neutral zone. Carried up by Noskov for the Rumblebees. Crosses the attacking blue line. Looking across the way, it's picked off by Vlad Gavrik. And Gavrik with an nifty backhand pass springs Dearson entering in on the right side the other way. Dearson for the Hat-Tricks is staple gunned into the boards. Bolin Porter tries to lift the stick. Bolin Porter now getting it over to Dearson. Out to the far side point, Gavrik wraps it around the perimeter of the boards. Into the near side midboards. Now Steve Brown pinching in for the Hat-Tricks, trying to keep it in deep to the Battle Creek zone. Stone crosses the way, finds his way to Jacob Wolf. Wolf springs Alvis. Alvis enters into the attacking zone. Shane Morrissey on the back check. Cleared that off the goal line. Here come the Hat-Tricks the other way. Here's Anderson entering in. Anderson at the far side circle. His shot is blocked in front by Sebastian Crystal. 6:40 to go in the second period. It's back and forth action as Shea Carey had himself the best look of the day for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Here's Thomas. Out to Soilis. Soilis entering in on the right side. Soilis now behind the defense. Soilis motoring in towards Dylan Kelly. Pad stop by Kelly. Soilis with a terrific move to get behind the defender. And that'll bring us to the media timeout, and we get a stoppage of play. 6:22 remaining in the second period, and Battle Creek had themselves a couple of breakaways or partial breakaways to try and get themselves back into the game. Shots on goal currently 25-10 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and Battle Creek trying to generate something. The fact that they were able to lurk at the opposing blue line and get some passes up the ice, I mean, that's a positive indication, because really in the first period they were unable to do much of anything when it came to passing. So it looks like we do have at least some semblance of a visual going on right now on our YouTube stream. We'll keep an eye on, and we do apologize for the technical difficulties, but you know, such is the nature of hockey. You never know what, the show must go on. You never know what will happen on any given night. And you make do. So the faceoff will be to the left of Dylan Kelly in the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and Adam Howie will go up against Johnny Ruiz. And Ruiz, who has been spectacular on the faceoff dot so far this evening, wins yet another one. Out into the neutral zone it goes as Matthias Kasich holds. Kasich with the back pass intended for Levesque is intercepted, and here comes Howie the other way, crossing the blue line. Howie looks to the net. It's forced wide. Now out once more to the midboards. The Hat-Tricks take possession, and they have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Here's Ruiz with Kasich springing to the net. Over to Levesque. His shot swallowed up by Hudson.
A good entry there for Danbury. Levesque right in the slot area. He likes to pull that shot back a little bit with the wrist action. But you're seeing Battle Creek throughout this period. They're building up a little bit more on their rushes, getting a couple of odd man chances. And obviously that huge save by Dylan Kelly a little bit ago was important in keeping this a shutout game right now for Danbury. But a good period overall for Battle Creek. Obviously just the one goal led in. And they're playing much better in terms of balancing their game.
Bronner looking out towards the blue line, but Cruz Listmeyer was across it, so the Hat-Tricks will have to hit the reset button as Carter Shinkarik holds by his own bench and will send it in deep. A wonky bounce off the Zamboni doors, and Morgan Hudson is able to recuperate as he had to swat that away with the heel of his catching glove. Here's Alvis up the left wing, looking for Wolf. A long shot gets redirected off the skates of Billy McCreary and into the padding of Dylan Kelly, and we get a stoppage of play. 5:29 remaining in the second period.
Well, those are the plays right now that Battle Creek they're seeing. We saw maybe 2 or 3 good chances like that in the first. We're seeing a plethora of chances for them now here in this second period. That's exactly what you need to do, because eventually you're going to create those chances, possibly get a rebound, start to get guys to the net. It's a chip away process right now offensively for Battle Creek.
Chip away is right. They do have a long way to go, as now Morrissey was lurking behind the defense, but a good back check by Susie. Now up the ice to Wolf. Wolf with a long shot that's turned out by Kelly. Into the near side corner it goes. 5:15 remaining in the second period. Here's Wolf. Excuse me, that's Ryan Alvis, who gets run into the wall by Kenny Garrett. It's picked up by Morrissey, and he finds Shinkarik entering in. Shinkarik has 2 already on the day, looking for a third, shoots it wide. Now it's picked up by Thomas. Exit pass intercepted. Bronner has it knocked off his stick. Bronner waited just a hair too long to send that one in deep. Now Wolf entering in on the right side. In on Gavrik. Gavrik trying to force him towards the boards. Wolf will turn around and try to get it in deep, but it's met by Bolin Porter and sent back out into the neutral zone. Crystal will settle for the Rumble Bees. 4:35 remaining in the second period. 4-0 your score in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks as the Battle Creek Rumble Bees trying to provide some offensive pressure. They have a man streaking in deep in Willie Dagneau, who is a recent acquisition from the Elmira Enforcers, who's taking a shift out for the first time this game. And Dagneau throws a hard check and brings a man down, and that'll get a roar of approval from the Battle Creek Rumble Bees bench. And entering in is Menton, who has his stick lifted and the puck knocked away from him. But that's the kind of presence that you want to feel. You're a new guy. You want to provide a little spark.
And we've seen that from this entire team. And exactly, you're right, Casey. Just fire your body in there and make a statement hit. And that's a really good hit on Kenny Garrett into the bench. Knock his stick out of his hand. And the coach and your teammates are going to take a look at that and say, hey, this guy's ready to play.
You want, again, we said it in the first period, you want to feel like you have some kind of physical mojo. Mm-hmm. You want to still feel like you're still respected and even perhaps feared despite your record. As here's Kasich entering in on the right side as Levesque in the slot. Kasich with some nifty stick work, gets it out to the point, trailing one-timer, redirected in front by Ruiz, and that one goes wide. Levesque will pinch it in low. Ruiz looking in front of the net, trying to look for Kasich, but it was broken up by Adam Howie. 3:15 to go in the second. Here's Ruiz spinning around and dumping it in deep. Well, this new look line here with Levesque and Ruiz, you pull Phil Bronner off that line, and man, his Kasich seems to be sliding in pretty well on that line because he is pretty physical.
He's physical, and you take a look at the way he skates, you don't necessarily see that, but he does really love to lay some hits, and Steve Brown got a late one there.
Speaking of laying some hits, that's Steve Brown running Marco Luciani into the boards, and Steve Brown will skate away as Luciani gets up and is staring at Dylan Kelly and the officiating crew. And you see him emphatically shrugging, wondering how that's not a call.
You could see the Italian in him with the hands there. He's very frustrated. You could see it getting run into the wall after the whistle was blown.
He may be Italian, but he does hail from Toronto, Ontario. Probably with a last name like Luciani, you have to figure. Gavrik takes the puck away and starts up the ice for the Hat-Tricks. Entering in on the left side is Shinkarik cutting to the net, and Morrissey at the far side circle. Gavrik looking for options, finds McCreary. McCreary winds and fires, shot save. Rebound, they score! Carter Shinkarik completes the hat-trick. It's 5-0.
Well, very similar to his second goal, Casey. Shinkarik waiting on the doorstep, and it's going to be another assist going to go to Billy McCreary. He gets the slap shot in. It's a low, juicy rebound. Shinkarik's there, and he's able to fire it past the goaltender. That's exactly what you want, and Carter Shinkarik joins the hat-trick club amongst hat-tricks.
That is true, as Corey Anderson had a hat trick earlier this year, and Nick DiNicola had a hat trick. That is the third hat trick in Danbury hat tricks history, as we have to clean off some lids from the ice. Johnny Ruiz comes over and forks it on over to the crew in the penalty box. Well, at least one thing that you have a leg up on here in a smaller arena than an NHL arena, you get your hat back.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They're not going to take it away from you. And if it's a good hat, I'm going to throw it on the ice anyway. I know I'm getting it back.
In an NHL arena, you toss that hat, you're flushing $35 down the drain. depending on which
Yeah,
hat
it
you
depends
have.
on. Some hats go up to $50 now.
That's true. You walk into Lids and your eyes light up because of the price tag. Ruiz will carry it up on the left side. Saucer pass leads Dearson into the attacking end. Dearson looks to the net, goes off a defensive stick. It goes up into the netting, and we'll get a stoppage play with 2:20 to go.
I think the biggest thing, too, for Danbury is they score a goal and they don't stop after that. They jump right back in like nothing's changed in the game, nothing's changed in the aspect. Obviously, the 5-goal lead now serves as a really good cushion looking towards the second intermission, but you have to say, yeah, we're in really good shape here, but they continue to apply pressure.
Garrett chips it in down low. Anderson loses his footing, and he gets back up. It looks like his stick got tied up in the padding of Morgan Hudson. Lead pass is cut off by Garrett. Now Anderson slides it over to Garrett again and turned out by Hudson into the far side corner. Kenny Garrett starting to get involved a little bit in the action. Garrett still looking for his first point as a member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Cutting in now is Menton as he has to evade Dylan Kelly at the last moment. Never got a shot on goal.
Yeah, that's the skill that we really didn't have the luxury to see from Brett Menton here in Danbury. Obviously, the playing time is one of the reasons why. It's just too many guys for him to climb up the ladder to try to get more valuable time on the ice. He's getting quality top 6 minutes right now for Battle Creek, and you're going to see his game develop more and more.
Well, I tell you, Brett Menton, he did have 1 goal as a member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and it came against these same Battle Creek Rumblebees. It came in the middle of a 10-2 drubbing back on November the 23rd. So Brett Menton, and that goal was a pretty one, too.
Yeah.
It was bar down.
You could tell that he's got some skill, and obviously the ability to play both forward and defense is something to be praised about, but there's something there with Menton, and he's going to have some time now to play with this Battle Creek team and again, get that valuable time to continue to grow his game.
McCreary will hold with his back to the attacking zone. Now he spins away from Wolf and tries to get it up the ice. Shinkarik chips it ahead. McCreary takes a swing at it and is able to knock it away from Noskov. He'll dump it in deep. Final minute of play here in the second period. Here's Noskov carrying it up the right wing. Noskov crosses red line, blue line, enters in, slides it to his left, looking for Stone. Stone sends it towards the net, and that will be gloved out of the air by Dylan Kelly, and a bit of extracurriculars in front of him as Cruz Listmayer comes together with Stone. Oh, excuse me, not Stone. I believe that's Noskov in front. And nevertheless, that's 45 seconds remaining, and a little bit of fight, and chance of fight from the Danbury Hat-Tricks crowd.
Yeah, somebody's going to go off here. I think it's a hat trick. The official pointing to the penalty box as you saw the helmet fly off there.
And yes, it looks like they will be punishing Cruz Listmayer.
Yeah, him and Wolf got into it a little bit, and Cruz a little bit too much after the whistle. Wolf very disciplined, not to retaliate in any way, and Listmayer going to have a bit of a talking to from the linesman and the official here as, hey, clean that up. We don't want that in the game here tonight. Let's sit for 2.
Well, for Listmayer, it is his 41st and 42nd penalty minutes, respectively. That is good enough for 3rd on the Danbury Hat-Tricks. He trails Nicola Levesque, who has 43, and Corey Anderson, who has 49.
Now, they're both fighters, and that's why those minutes jack up. But if you look at minor penalties accrued over the season, Cruz Listmayer's towards the top of the list on that as well.
So it'll be a power play opportunity for Battle Creek. 35 seconds remains in the first period. If there is no scoring, there will be a minute 15 carried over of power play time into the third period as the Hat-Tricks are protecting a 5-0 lead. Dagno forcing it ahead. Dagno throws a hard check on Billy McCreary. McCreary has his bell rung a little bit there as he was knocked off the puck. Billy McCreary is a very sturdy body. He's very difficult. And there's McCreary jawing with Dagno in the slot. The two of them are coming together. Let's see if they go. It's taken away. And a shot attempt goes up into the netting as McCreary and Dagno exchanging pleasantries. And let's see if they allow him to go as Dagno brought his arms up. And you can tell that they want to go.
I mean, he doesn't look like a coach. That is the head coach of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, ready to go out there.
And Billy McCreary himself, he played in 2 games before this, and in those 2 games he had 18 penalty minutes. And that's impressive. At the conclusion of the game he played back on December 26th against the Mentor Icebreakers, he did have a game misconduct at the end of the game. So he had 10-minute penalty assessed to this, so that pads the numbers a little bit. But It does show that he is no stranger to confrontation.
Yeah, it's just more of an example as to why Billy McCreary, he's going to show his teammates that, he's all in for this thing. He's a hard-nosed fighter in all aspects of this game. And Battle Creek's going to have an extra attacker here, Casey. They bring the goaltender to the bench just to try to get a last-second chance here with the power play.
And, well, it'll be for naught as the faceoff is won down towards the Battle Creek end, and that will do it. So the second period comes to an end with the Danbury Hat-Tricks leading 5-0. Again, we apologize for technical difficulties here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks broadcast, but we will continue to bring you live coverage of the Danbury Hat-Tricks throughout the evening. You're watching Danbury Hat-Tricks Hockey on the Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for live coverage of the Danbury Hat-Tricks on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Casey Bryant alongside Jack O'Mara, and we sincerely apologize for our bevy of technical difficulties that we experienced in the second period. It happens in hockey, it happens in broadcasting, and you just have to kind of deal with it on the fly, but we sincerely apologize, and we thank everyone for sticking with us, and we hopefully will have no more bumps in the road coming up in the third.
Well, like hockey players, you got to play a full 60 minutes. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Broadcasts happen for, about 180 minutes. Sometimes it's broken up a little bit, but we do appreciate your support, everyone, and we thank you for sticking with us.
That is the beauty of live entertainment. You know, anything can happen. You never know what could go wrong, what could go right, but nevertheless, the show must go on. And speaking of shows, the Danbury Hat-Tricks have been putting on one offensively really all game. They got a pair of goals in the second period, the first being a power play goal scored by Corey Anderson off a snapshot between the hash marks, and they got a second one, which was the completion of a hat trick for Carter Shinkarik, his first hat trick of the season, the third hat trick from a Danbury Hat-Tricks player. And Jack, the Danbury Hat-Tricks just have not slowed down since the start of the game. They seem to be so dominant on the puck this evening.
Yeah, obviously you want to walk away with tonight with a victory. You're looking at a 5-0 score line right now, but it's the play that they made after they score goals. They do not look in any way, shape, or form like they're taking a step back in this game. They're full-fledged ahead. They're playing with a purpose tonight. It's a much, much better performance for Danbury, and it's not to say that Battle Creek has completely not shown up. They've been playing in some different aspects. They were forcing a lot of outside shots, particularly in that first period. Danbury's just been in the right place, right time, have been banging in the greasy goals, and there haven't been a whole lot of skill goals. We saw Elmira in the Elmira series, Danbury going a little bit more for the finesse, not so much shooting from the blue line, going for rebounds, going for the greasy goals in the blue paint area. That's changed now. You're seeing that grow part of their game. Really, really good stuff from Danbury through the first couple of periods. And as for Battle Creek, you want to take a look at this. This is a full 2-game series here. Make some adjustments, have a good third period. A 5-goal deficit's tough to come back on. It's possible, but a lot needs to happen. You want to move more towards tomorrow and make some adjustments.
Well, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and you saw a little bit of physicality emerge from the Battle Creek Rumblebees in the later goings of that period as Willie Dagneau, who is a recent acquisition from the Elmira Enforcers, threw a hard check on Billy McCreary, and the two of them came very close to dropping the gloves, and I'm sure that the contingent for the Danbury Hat-Tricks here tonight at Danbury Arena, they would have loved to see their head coach drop the gloves with an opposing player.
Oh, that would have blown the roof off the building if he was able to go head-to-head, and we'll see if that continues. Sometimes, bad blood, especially towards the end of the period, because the intermission, particularly here at Danbury Arena, the second intermission is that much longer than the first. But bad blood sometimes dies down a little bit as the play continues, and such a lopsided scoreline. This game isn't as tightly wound. You wouldn't expect a huge fisticuffs in this one, but you never know. Things might carry over into the third.
And as we move into the third period, Jack, the Battle Creek Rumblebees, they started to improve their passing a bit in the second period, but they still have a long way to go in terms of sustaining offensive zone time. They haven't really been able to get all 5 players in the attacking zone for longer than really a couple seconds at a time. What will they need to do in the third period to really adjust that?
I think, you have nothing to worry about on the back end. You're down at this point. You have to be aggressive. You can't really focus on, hey, we need to stay back just in case of rush. You got to put all pressure forward. You got to have 3 forwards down, at least one guy below the goal line. You got to be cycling the puck. It's just got to be an all-out attack right now offensively for this team. You have a $1:14 to go on this power play. Use it to your advantage, gain some shot opportunities.
Cruz Listmeyer will sit in the box for slashing. That came towards the end of the second period, and a short-handed shot right off the face-off off the stick of Phil Bronner. Bronner out there with Shinkarik, Vlad Gavrik, and Billy McCreary. Lurking at the blue line right now is Jacob Wolf, if they can get it up the ice to him, but right now Phil Bronner is doing a good job of holding the Rumblebees back towards their own end line. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage. Here's Stavros Soilis, who skates out from behind his net and starts up ice. Slides it to his left over to Alvis, who evades his own man. And now Alvis will enter in on the far side. Billy McCreary gets a stick on the puck, and Vlad Gavrik will evade Wolf. kill off some more seconds as he leisurely lifts it up down the length of the ice, and Casper Dierson in ahead behind Crystal. And a long pass off the stick of Morgan Hudson, who right now has faced 28 shots on goal. Here comes shot 29. If they can get it off, no, it'll be out of reach of Casper Dierson. And boy, that was a 2-on-0 breaking in shorthanded, and Bolin Porter tried to go for the pass across the way.
Yeah, it's tough because of how close Dierson was to the net. He was thinking, okay, I got to pull this to my backhand. Didn't even have the puck on his stick. Well, that's good for Danbury, an easy penalty kill when you have time in your offensive zone.
Steve Brown crosses the way over to Kenny Garrett. Garrett up the ice to Kendall Bolin Porter, who now we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Over to the far side point, Steve Brown with a long shot through traffic. That's swallowed up by Morgan Hudson, and he holds. 1:37 gone by here in the third period.
You have to give credit for Hudson. I mean, he's hung in there on those tough shots. That's a great streaking Levesque down low, and great chance. Good tape-to-tape pass again. We keep bringing that up. It continues for Danbury here. They're just getting the puck in good spots offensively and completely absent last weekend. You want to take a look at just the changes they've made, and you can clearly see that things are going in the right direction for Danbury.
Ruiz enters in on the sharp side, feeds Levesque. His shot blocked in front by Steele. Otherwise, that would have found Twine as Morgan Hudson was way out of his net. And Levesque has been hunting for a goal. He hasn't really been able to find the back of the net of late. He's been stymied right now by defenders, and I'm sure part of that is the fact that he doesn't have his usual line mate Phil Bronner out there with him, but also he's a marked man. He's one of the leading scorers of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. He has himself on the season 38 points. That leads the team, so whenever 61 is out there on the ice, you can tell that other teams are really looking for him.
Absolutely, Casey, and that doesn't stop him from getting involved in the other aspects of the game. He's great down low. He's great in his own defensive zone, and he's one of the best puck movers on this team, and you saw it tonight a couple times, just moving the puck briskly, keeping things going, and he's going to continue to be on the score sheet because he just moves the puck so well.
And hoots and hollers of approval from the Danbury Hat-Tricks contingent overlooking the ice as Tim Hanlon takes the ice for the first time. Tim Hanlon throws a hard check behind the end line, goes together with Stavros Soilis and comes back up, and Steve Brown will come to Hanlon's defense. Brown drops the gloves and is ragdolling Adam Howie against the boards. Howie goes tumbling down to the ice with Brown on top of him, and Howie, the former hat trick, gets a how do you do from Brown.
Yeah, Brown didn't like, he came up a little bit high on Hanlon, a little extra as well. Adam Howie just trying to play the game a bit hard, and Steve Brown did not take that to a liking, and the Danbury fans love it when their alternate captain steps up like that, and I think Howie's going to have to go to the trainer here, because when he was thrown down by Brown, his head hit the back of the ice, and you could see him kind of jolt his head back with his neck.
And good for Steve Brown for sticking up for Hanlon. He recognizes that Hanlon is not someone that takes the ice every game. Hanlon has been often on the active roster, and he's out there taking his first shift, and in his first shift he throws a hard check and then gets one right back. And Brown takes exception. You want to target my guy? I don't care if it's our leading scorer or a role player on the fourth line. You're going to hear it from me. And Steve Brown with a good job. That's why Steve Brown is recognized as one of the leaders on this roster. He's considered a leader in that locker room. He's a veteran presence who's played in Danbury for several years. He was dating back to his days with the Danbury Whalers on that championship team in 2012, 2013. He's an important piece in that locker room, and he's recognized as a leader.
Well, you think about, Danbury is a inaugural season team, the first year here. They brought a bunch of veterans back. Marty Tuma came out of retirement. Steve Brown came back to reignite kind of the love for these familiar faces. And you're absolutely right, Casey. Steve Brown is well loved by everyone, and he's a guy who's not going to take anything. If you're coming at one of his guys, again, whether it be a rookie, whether it be a top scorer, he's going to take exception to that, and he's going to, show you who's boss. This is his town. It's his arena. I mean, he's taking ownership to it.
And the Battle Creek Rumblebees bench right now is hearing it from Section 102 over by there. And Steve Brown will get a penalty, and it looks like It will be a power play. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Excuse me. It'll have coincidental penalties. Adam Howie will go off as well, but Adam Howie is currently not in the penalty box. He is in the trainer's room getting looked at. An additional 2 minutes was an additional 2 minutes was assessed to Steve Brown for instigating, but right now there is not a penalty up on the scoreboard. We are still at 5-on-5.
Yeah, I was going to say, Battle Creek's still on 5-on-5, so.
There must have been a incidental 2 minutes for roughing to coincide with that to keep us at 5-on-5. So merrily we roll along after a bit of fisticuffs, and hard check behind the Battle Creek Rumblebees net gets lifted up to Wolf. And we were wondering when the physicality would spill over into the third period, and you see a little bit of it there.
It's not the player that we were highlighting, but it's Steve Brown, who's had kind of a quiet night in terms of his physical play. A couple of blasts from the point, which have been good, getting involved kind of in the offensive side of the games. Hasn't been challenged too much.
Well, I tell you, he hasn't needed to be very physical. Last weekend, he was challenged a lot by the aggressive first line of the Elmira Enforcers. It's just a different feel because of really a different opponent than the Elmira Enforcers. These are two teams that play different styles and, quite frankly, are in different positions in terms of their season, as a pass out in front to Ruiz is fanned on.
Absolutely, and Steve Brown feels good about this weekend probably because his team's in good position.
Kasich trying to set up Levesque in front. Levesque had his stick tied up. Here's Ruiz spinning around with it. Has Kenny Garrett streaking to the near side circle. Garrett rings one off the iron. Garrett hunting for his first as a hat trick and was only a couple inches away.
Yeah, great scoring chance there for Garrett, jumping right into the circle area. He just closed that angle off. He was looking for that top corner on the near side post. He just missed.
Taking a step in, McCreary, it hops over his stick and now finds its way to Garrett once more. With Ruiz setting a screen in front, now he'll pop behind the net to play the puck. Looking for Levesque once more in front, and it'll be intercepted by Bush Anderson and lent down the length of the ice.
Yeah, that was a long shift there for the Bees. They needed to get a change there. Danbury applying some good pressure. Again, doesn't feel like they're up by 5. Maybe a 2-goal lead in this one. That's kind of how this game feels based on how strong they're playing in the offensive zone.
Here's Bronner in front with a backhander that's caught under the right arm of Morgan Hudson. Squeezed together his arm to his chest to hold on to that one. And you know, it's funny, it was a long shift for the Bees, and it was an equally long shift, if not longer, for the Hat-Tricks. But the Hat-Tricks just had a different energy about them. When you're in the attacking zone, you don't want to leave the ice.
Exactly. You don't feel like you're on the ice for long when you're on the attack, and guys moving the puck well around the outside, get the good established umbrella. That's important, and it feels pretty good when you're firing away like that, even if you've been on the ice for an extended period of time.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely.
Alvis trying to chip it in down low. Gavrik picks off the puck and sends it off the wall. Bronner now turns around trying to lead Shinkarik. It bounces over to the far side corner over by the Ferrers electric sign. And Gavrik will look up ice. He's got Morrissey an option to the left. Bronner at the heart of the ice. Bronner finds Morrissey. Cruz Listmeyer over the boards will join the action as Morrissey chops some onions, evading 3 different Rumblebees and is able to get it in deep. When Morrissey has made some very skilled plays with the stick as there's Shinkarik cycling it out to Bronner with a backdoor pass. Oh, and off the post! Morrissey stays down on the ice for a moment as he can't believe that he missed that open net.
Well, that's a wide open cage. It's the same situation as if a goaltender were not in the net at all, as if he was at the bench. And the difficulty here for Morrissey is he gets low to the goal line, so he's got a tighter window to hit. But even then, you have to have that one. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, you wonder what magnetic force field Morgan Hudson put up prior to that shift to keep that out. Bolin Porter cycles it now around to Dearson. Calling for it and receiving it is McCreary. McCreary with a backhand pass over to Anderson takes a step in. It hops off of the stick of Wolf and goes up into the netting. A stoppage of play, 6 minutes, 22 seconds gone by in the third.
Well, you see Billy McCreary even, I want the puck. Everyone wants a piece of the action. And it's a confidence booster when you're able to flow on all cylinders offensively and guys feel comfortable. That sets you up for future games. Obviously, it'll roll into tomorrow. You want to keep the high-octane offense going. That's going to help you grow as the season starts to develop. We're past the halfway point. They want to keep this offensive surge going.
Anderson gets it down low to Bullen Porter, goes behind the net, sets up Dearson with a sharp angle try at the far side post. That's fought off by Hudson. Now once more for a one-timer off the heel of the stick. Bullen Porter looks like he lost his footing a little bit. It wasn't wholly balanced. Here's McCreary by his bench with a little bit of room to maneuver. Enters in with Dearson cutting to the net. McCreary slides it over to Bullen Porter, trying to dish it down low to Anderson. Can't connect. Flicks it out to the point. Here's Listmayer. Winds, fires, redirected in front by Dearson into the near side circle. Now picked up and carried out by Alvis. Alvis looking across the ice. Here's entering in on his backhand. Looks to the net. Fought off by Kelly, and that's the first shot on goal of the period to Dylan Kelly. And it looks like we have some drop in the gloves action as there's Dagno. Finally finds a dance partner, and it's number 4, Cruz Listmayer. Listmayer throws a couple hard rights, and tumbling down to the ice they go, interlocked. And Listmayer throws an extra punch while down on the ice for good measure.
Yeah, we'll see if the good old relative Colton Orr taught him a couple of things there, and things developing behind the play. Guys getting after each other, and it's a long series. And you're right, Casey. We mentioned Daniel was getting after it a little bit with McCreary towards the end of the second period. Listmayer takes note of that, and he'll go back to the box.
Listmayer will join Steve Brown in the penalty box, and you are right, Listmayer is the nephew of former NHL enforcer Colton Orr, and that is the first home fight for Listmayer, and there is no divider between the two penalty boxes. We should note that. So anything that you say in that penalty box, it can be heard loud and clear. And you can see Listmayer and Dagno still jawing, and now Steve Brown will stand up and give Dagno a piece of his mind, perhaps just letting him know that the post-game party is at 2 steps afterward, and the two of them can settle their differences over a pint, perhaps.
Why not? But the press box staff will have to be fully equipped just in case things boil over into the sin bins.
You've got a couple of big bodies down there. You've got Tom Mary, who is manning the door right now, part of our game day staff, former FDNY, so he's a tough guy. He can hold his own.
Yeah.
And you've got Christian Gardecki, our public address announcer, who is the captain of BBD hockey, playing here at Danbury Arena. Tyler Vallis, who was our DJ, also a former WestCon player. So you've got enough solid.
Yeah,
bodies.
there's your connection. I think the officials here are just trying to sort out where this face-off should go after the penalties are delivered to Christian Gardecki, which we will hear from momentarily.
And play is finally ready to resume after a brief intermission. There's Gavrik across the way to Matthias Kasich, and up the ice he comes. Kasich with Levesque in the slot, gets around Steele, feeds Levesque, has it on his backhander, chips it towards the net, and it goes into the B on the center of the sweater of Morgan Hudson.
Well, there you go, right after it. Danbury going from one end of the ice to the other, and it's Levesque once again with some good chances in front. And Danbury, that connection, I think with Matthias Kasich added to that line, that's going to look good moving forward for this team. I mean, he brings a set of skill, set of physicality.
As Kasich's shot is fought off by Hudson. Kasich takes a hard hit from Brett Menton. And it'll be sent out in the neutral zone. Well, I tell you, Matthias Kasich was on the top line to start the year in that opening series against the Port Huron Prowlers as Levesque's shot is blockered away, and a rebound try by Gavrik squibs just wide. And Kasich has kind of found himself as the swing man, where he's been on every single line combination because he is so versatile. He's skilled, he's physical, he's able to really do anything. Here's Morrissey breaking in behind the defense. Morrissey with a shot that goes wide, and a second attempt is kicked out by Hudson.
You have to give a ton of credit in this period for Hudson. I mean, he's standing on his head. 2 good saves there. Morrissey on a partial breakaway.
McCreary's shot goes off of the mask of Hudson. A long shot, and now McCreary has to get back as the puck finds its way past him, and Ryan Alvis was lurking. Alvis, the leading scorer for the Rumble Bees. Entering in, Soilus back to Alvis. Looking down low for Wolf, picked off by McCreary. And up come the hat-tricks in transition on a 3-on-2. Here's Morrissey. On the right side, McCreary and Shinkarik joining the rush. Morrissey trying to pick a corner. It goes high and wide and will rattle out of the zone. Hanlon will settle it down as Bronner across the way. Hanlon directing traffic, deliberately gets it over to the far side. And will back pass it over to his head coach, McCreary. Over towards the red line, settled down by Battle Creek. Wolf has Noskov behind him. Will spin around as the Rumblebees go off for a change. 9 minutes, 15 seconds gone by here in the third. Here's Noskov leading Wolf as he enters in. Gavrick trying to force him wide. Shot turned out by Kelly. Stone with a long try that goes off the legs of Garrett. Bounces up into the air. Jostling forward is Champlain. Champlain is stripped by Gavrick. Puck still bouncing in between their skates. Now Champlain has it. Turns around. Kick save by Kelly. And Kelly gets some applause from the Danbury Hatchricks faithful as Bush Anderson once more looks to the net. Toe save. Rebound is steered aside by Shinkarik.
Yeah, that was the shift Battle Creek needs. Just gets out of the zone there, but that's exactly what you want. Force the issue. Couple good chances.
And Morrissey back the other way as his shot blocked by Bush Anderson, and back the other way come the Rumblebees. You are right, Jack. That is what they've been searching for this entire game. Bush Anderson, back pass. Susie trying to spring Menton, stripped by Gavrick. Entering in with Dearson lurking, looking for him, and Dearson can't connect. Dearson had his legs taken out from under him by back-checking Champlain. Now Soilis taking the puck away. Corey Anderson whacks at it with one hand, gets it out into the neutral zone. And Battle Creek starting to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they're not afraid. Again, you really have nothing to lose at this point in this stage of the game. Move forward, get all attackers into the zone, move the puck around a little bit, and what's not going to hurt are shots. Shots on goal, just in any which way form, you just need to get to the puck to the net at this point just to get some sort of offensive flow going.
The Rumblebees do have 18 shots on goal for the game, which is half of what the Danbury Hatchricks have been able to put up on Morgan Hudson, 36. 3 shots on goal in the frame to the Battle Creek Rumblebees.
And the shots have been solid, Casey. The problem, I think, too, is the high percentage opportunities. We haven't seen too many. Dylan Kelly really has not been tested too much in this game, and that's because Battle Creek, they just really haven't been able to get any chances in the slot, blasts from the blue line in which pucks may be redirected.
Well, here's a high-danger chance as in comes Soilis as his shot goes wide. And now back the other way, trying to spring a 2-on-1. It's just out of reach of Nicola Levesque. So that is the look that they want, but Soilis couldn't find the net.
Well, again, that's where Danbury lacks, especially when you're down a couple defensemen, is your defensive presence at your own blue line. And the stretch pass, again, works to perfection. Soilis among a couple of Rumblebees today. Good chance, just can't hit the net.
McCreary's shot goes off the legs of Thomas. He picks up his own rebound. Gets it down low to Levesque. Levesque has his stick tied up. Good defensive play by Battle Creek, and now in comes Menton charging ahead. Menton cutting to the net. Menton's shot kicked out by Kelly. And you could tell Menton had a nose for the net on that one. You could see the look in his eye as he's skating down. He's skating right in front of the broadcast booth, Jack. He wanted that one.
Yeah.
And he made that power move from the outside to the inside.
Again, that's the skill that we haven't really seen from Brett Menton. Those abilities to just take the puck with speed, with conviction, and gets a good chance on goal. Again, not a lot of help around the rebound department, but you're right. These are individuals, again, on this Battle Creek team who want to make plays.
Long shot is fought off by Kelly. It hit off of the Fairfield County Bank crest on the left shoulder of Dylan Kelly, and we'll get a stoppage of play. A slash will be assessed, and it looks like it'll be Kenny Garrett visiting the penalty box. So a power play opportunity for the Battle Creek Rumblebees.
And all the players coming out of the box after their fighting majors, 2 from each side. Well, effectively 1 from Battle Creek. Adam Howie still in the tunnel getting worked on.
So just as 3 men come out, 1 goes back in Kenny Garrett. Battle Creek has not found the back of the net yet in this game. As such, they are 0 for 2 on their power plays. Stavros Soilis holds at the near side midboards. He's got Champlain down low and finds him. Luciani is in the bumper position between the hash marks. Crystal at the far side point, and Thomas completes the 5-man unit.
And Casey, this is one part of their game that has not helped them much this season is special teams.
9% effectiveness on the power play for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. That is last in the FPHL. Bronner carries it up the red line and feeds Shinkarik. Shinkarik dancing around, almost got around Sebastian Crystal. A good job by Crystal to keep his body in front of that one.
Yeah, lays out for that. It's an all or nothing play. You have to make contact with the puck, or especially with Shinkarik and his puck handling ability. Even when he's that close, it's dangerous.
Shinkarik does not have a shorthanded goal yet this season, but the Danbury Hat-Tricks themselves do have their fair share. They have 5 on the year, 2 scored by Gordy Bonnell, who was a scratch today. Phil Bronner has 1, Johnny Ruiz has 1, Anderson and Levesque have all netted shorties. Bolin Porter, who is out on the ice right now, does have a primary assist on a shorthanded goal, that being scored by Phil Bronner against the Watertown Wolves.
Yeah, and again, easy penalty kill here for Danbury. They're spending time in the offensive zone. The 2-on-1 rush, and now Battle Creek ices the puck, and Danbury's got a chance here with the offensive zone face-off. Easy on your defenders when they're not challenged on the penalty kill. Timmy Handley getting some PK time as well alongside Steve Brown.
45 seconds remains in that man advantage. Stone has it hop off of his skates. Dearson takes it away, and Dearson will flick it towards an area. Bolin Porter throws a check. Battle Creek having to go the full 200. Wolf is waiting for the puck at the far blue line. Noskov has to shade away from Bolin Porter. Bolin Porter active with his stick. Look how he's lifting his stick and interrupting progress. And now they're able to spring Wolf. He's in on Listmayer. He has to spin away from him as he didn't have clean possession of the puck. Calling for it, Stone. They don't find him. They instead go to Steele. Steele with a shot redirected in front. A rebound try rolls off the stick of Noskov. That will do it for the power play. One last chance for Stone as he looks out towards the bumper position. It's intercepted. And now out of the box comes Kenny Garrett. Garrett squares to the net, blocked in front. And Garrett will take a tumble for his efforts. As Garrett now comes together with Steele. A pair of 24s come together. Crowd thought maybe perhaps something might happen, but it does not. Shot attempt goes off the shoulder of Champlain, a little friendly fire.
Yeah, that's a tough break there. That would have been a good chance if Champlain had gotten square, possibly try to get a deflection there. Instead, it hits him in his hand.
Well, these same two teams will play each other tomorrow night as well at 8 p.m. here at Danbury Arena. You can tune in on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube feed. And you can get your tickets at danburyhattricks.com/tickets. As it feeds out to Bronner. Bronner looking to the sharp side to Morrissey. Can't connect with him. And the last time the Battle Creek Rumblebees were here, Jack, we saw a strong effort in the first game as Morrissey takes it away. Morrissey looking down low, intended for Shinkarik. Hudson is down, but they couldn't get a shot off. We saw a strong effort from Battle Creek at a 4-2 loss, and I think that really took a lot of people by surprise, or at least it took the Hat-Tricks by surprise, because then the next day, after falling behind 1-0, the Hat-Tricks won 10-2. So you wonder, perhaps, after a game where the Hat-Tricks dominate in the first night, what will you expect from these two teams tomorrow?
Well, I think that that Battle Creek is awoken to what Danbury has to offer, and it's going to be a quick night, go to bed, get some sleep, and get back after it. In terms of Danbury, I think you come out with the same mentality. I would anticipate a similar scoreline. It comes down to Danbury's talent is just far better than Battle Creek right now. Even if Battle Creek's at their peak, you're still going to see a 2-goal, 3-goal game like we saw in that first Friday these two teams squared off.
Bolin Porter on his backhand, a rolling shot, juggling it a bit is Morgan Hudson, and now we finally reach the media timeout with 3:18 to go in the third period.
Thought we weren't going to get it.
we came very close. So this was given if the score holds, this is a massive improvement over recent games for the Danbury Hat-Tricks because they have been held to 2 goals in each of their last 3 games, all losses. Now you put up 5 goals, and you were missing a lot of big offensive contributors. Steve Mealy out with an injury, Gordy Bonnell out with an injury, Aaron Atwell out with an injury. With all of these faces missing, you were still able to put up 36 shots and 5 goals.
And that's their average. Their average 4.5 goals per game. That's where you want to be. And you're right, Casey, with all of those players out of the lineup to still produce at this level is an important check mark in the box. You know, you talk about check mark wins as you roll through the season, as we hit over that halfway point. We're moving more towards spring as it's further away, but it'll be here before you know it. it's important for Danbury to get these wins to pick back up, and you're going to have runs where we've seen obviously 11 straight wins, and then you have the 7 straight, the 8 straight home wins. These streaks are going to come, and then you're going to have some down stretches where you lose 3 in a row, and it's uncomfortable territory. It's uncomfortable waters, but response is always an important thing, and they did that tonight.
And I'm sure that you want to give your players enough time. It's not like you're going to force Gordy Bonnell to play injured if without him you're able to put up 5 goals. It allows him a bit more time to rest, or a player like him to rest, because you've got Godzilla coming next week. You've got the Carolina Thunderbirds coming in for a 3-game set here at Danbury Arena. And the Hat-Tricks have been able to take it to Carolina. They're the only team that's been able to take it to Carolina. Carolina, 3 regulation losses, all to the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
And none of them have been at this ice, too. 2 of them, or 1 of them on the road, and then 2 of them at, quote, a neutral site in Illinois, in Bloomingfield.
Yeah.
So that's important, too. Danbury still hasn't hosted Carolina. The target in that weekend is obviously 2 out of 3. If you can get 2 out of 3 against Carolina, the leaders in the entire FPHL, you should be happy.
If nothing else, you'll get a good preview of what could possibly be to come, because the Hat-Tricks and Thunderbirds, as a one-time shot, is snatched. A good save by Hudson. Those are the 2 teams that top their respective divisions. And I'm sure that a lot of fans in Danbury, it may be too early, but at least from a fan perspective, you're thinking, do we see this in April?
I would have reason to suspect that. It's based on what I've seen through this point in the season from these 10 teams. Danbury has the most talent top to bottom, spread scoring-wise. Carolina, such a balanced team as well. Their goaltending is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
They really, really know how to score, and a lot of the great things, too. They know how to defend. They have good goaltenders. They are perfect in 3 aspects of the game, unless it's been against Danbury. It's really, really it can very well happen at the end of the season.
And I tell you what, is that their goaltending has now a turnaround shot, point-blank save by Kelly, and a beauty. And some whistles of approval. I tell you what, Carolina's goaltending got better because they traded for Mullen, the former Battle Creek netminder, who would routinely face 40, 50 shots a night and looked stellar in doing so. He wasn't the one that eventually got them their win. That was Eisenhower, who was a scratch night, Joel Eisenhower. But he went through the ringer with Battle Creek, and then it was like, for his sins, he was granted this second opportunity with Carolina.
Well, you work hard, and sometimes you get rewarded for the hard work you put out there, and he's enjoying life down in Carolina right now. I mean, everyone is. The way that they're playing hockey and cruising through. And that division stuff, I mean, you look at the teams surrounding them, Port Huron.
Port Huron went on a really good run.
They're 51 points. Danville's 58 points. That's the same as Danbury. Danbury's got a game in hand compared to them. But that division's really, really top-heavy. Then, of course, you look at the other teams there, and Battle Creek obviously ways away from being in a good position in that division. But those top 3 teams are really, really good.
Yeah, and rounding out that division, you've got Columbus, who they're still capable of making a little bit of noises. They've got some talent, and they're constantly making moves, trying to find the right roster makeup, and you never know. They could surprise a couple teams. Final minute of play here in the 3rd period, as the Danbury Hat-Tricks trying to wind down the clock as they lead 5-0. A reminder to follow the Danbury Hat-Tricks at Danbury Hat-Tricks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube for highlights, interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and live game streams when we're able to get them to work. Gallows humor, sorry. And, of course, you can join our mailing list to keep tabs on all the latest news and updates at DanburyHattricks.com. Dearson flips it ahead to Anderson. Anderson on the rush, looks to the net, fires off the side of the net. 35 seconds to go, and the Danbury Hat-Tricks will improve to 19-8-1-2. It'll be their 61st point, which leads the Eastern Division by a comfortable margin. They do still have Watertown in the rearview mirror, who is now in a dogfight with Elmira to keep in that second spot in the Eastern Division. And you've also got Mentor kind of also kind of lurking in the shadows. So it's the middle of the Eastern Division is really tight, and of course you can't discount Delaware.
It's gridlock down there. I mean, 48 points for Elmira, 46 for Watertown, 44 for Mentor.
Yeah.
It's really anyone's division.
But for now, the division belongs to the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and tonight belongs to Dylan Kelly, as Dylan Kelly notches his first shutout as a Danbury Hat-Trick. Kelly turns aside 24 shots, and the Hat-Tricks come away with a 5-0 victory.
Yeah, really good performance tonight for Dylan Kelly. We talk a lot about bounce-back performances, a tough weekend for him, tough weekend for the Hat-Tricks. The team responded well, and he responded well, was solid in his facets of the game. Again, a couple challenges, steered him aside, no problem. Good help defensively, and Danbury needed that, especially with how thin they are at the blue line. They played so well. Look who gets to hoist the barrel.
Hoisting the barrel with a pair of assists tonight, head coach Billy McCreary. And what a moment for him as he's able to walk off a winner tonight, and you can see him kind of take a deep breath. He's done, he's ready. He's ready for a shower and a good night's sleep, and quite frankly, so are we. That'll do it here from the Danbury Arena broadcast booth. A reminder to join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. right here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. For all of us here at the Danbury Arena, we thank you for tuning in, and we thank everyone at the arena who makes a Danbury Hat-Tricks game possible. For Jack O'Mara, I'm Casey Bryant. Have a good night.